Welcome to the Two Chicks Homestead podcast. We are the two chicks. Yay!
Hi, I'm Nate.
And I'm Erin, and we talk about homesteading and living on a small piece of land.
All right, everyone, welcome to episode 70.
Yep, today is September, it's coming out the 20th.
Yeah, September 20th. So, but we're recording the day after the workshop meetup. It's nice and early, about 10:15 in the morning. We're done, cleaned up, out of the rain. We're good to go.
Yep.
So, we have Tim.
Howdy, howdy.
And Don.
Hello.
Sitting with us at the table, and we're going to chit-chat a little bit about what we did yesterday. So, we had a lot of people show up. We had
25?
Yeah, about 25.
Yeah, I was going to say 25 or 30.
Yep. A lot of kids. I think everybody had a good time. Mm-hmm. I know the girls had a ton of fun running around like crazy. So, there were a lot of great conversations that showed up.
My throat's a little dry I like to talk at the best of times, but we spent a ton of time just conversing, man. That's what it was about. It turned out to be a lot more laid back than I think we'd planned to start with, and way for the better, I think. It was a ton of fun. I don't know how many people I met for the first time, but we spent a bunch of time talking. Got to see Donald once in a blue moon. Yeah, it was nice too. So
every now and then, right? Good to see you too, Tim.
And I believe there was some apple pie moonshine involved too.
Yes, at the bonfire we had last night.
That was good.
That was delicious.
That was very good.
And the weather was pretty darn good.
Yeah. All things said, yesterday went really good. We were really worried about getting a lot of rain. And we got maybe a quarter of an inch. Mm-hmm. And it was enough to stand out and chit-chat. This morning, it's been raining a good chunk of the day.
And you don't want to not have it because we need it, but...
Right. The pond needs more water.
Yeah.
I could have waited a little while. No, it was all right. You know what? Sleeping through the rain last night wasn't bad at all. Mm-hmm. So that little tent was pretty good. I discovered that I think most of the moisture came from me, not from the outside. So that's all right. That's what happens when you close up all your vents at night thinking you're going to do yourself a favor. I didn't.
Yeah.
Guess I got to learn.
That's all right. I'm surprised you don't have little vents up at the top of that.
I did. Okay. So the first night I left it open, and I was like, and I went, it didn't rain, so I was good. And it was a little damp in there, not too bad. And so last night I get in, I'm like, it's going to rain a lot. I said, I better close that. Yeah, that's the mistake. The whole thing. Tell I haven't lived in a van before, so.
That's all right.
Down by the pond.
Down by the river.
Well, you can figure that out before you get to the humidity of Tennessee, and it's worse.
I guess we'll see how that goes. Yesterday it was calling for 3 days of rain at Prepper Camp in North Carolina. Today it's calling for 3 days of sun. So that'll probably flip-flop 12 times before I get there.
Yeah, I've learned to look at the weather for yesterday.
Yes. Yeah, that's the only way you can be 100% right is by looking at yesterday's weather and telling me what it was going to be. So,
absolutely. I mean, it's real weird here. Usually we get some decent storms, but it's like a lot of the stuff yesterday missed us.
Yeah. Which just kept coming in and splitting.
Yeah, which was kind of really nice. Now we have this conspiracy theory, but we think it's really the case. We have a wind farm that's about 20 miles west of us. And if you get like a real slow moving storm with not a lot of rain that moves in, it's like it'll split when it hits that farm, and to the north and to the south will get hammered. Like Sandwich to the south of us has gotten nailed numerous times by tornadoes and severe winds and stuff like that. And we got like nothing yesterday.
No.
And the storm today is coming out of the north.
Now you're getting hammered.
Yeah. So we're getting a ton of rain. But hey, we need it.
Yeah. But yeah, the day went smoothly. Like, I think we talked plans, but it just kind of...
Were you stressed at all?
Yes.
I know it's not my place to ask questions, but I have to ask.
No, so. I was, because it's like you just want it to be just so, but...
You guys did awesome.
Thank you.
I couldn't, so I mean, here I am coming from Canada, so it's, a 2 to 3 day drive, depending on how fast or how much you want to stop. So I can only bring so much with me, and for the last year and a half, Erin's like, okay, stop and visit me, stop and visit us every time. And I'm like, I will. And I love them to death. You guys got to know this, but I love them, but I don't love driving on these interstates near Chicago, because if I have a choice, I will take straight south through the Dakotas and Iowa every day, because it's like 85 mile an hour and it's beautiful. I could almost go to sleep, but I wouldn't, because that would be bad. So I did. I said, I'm going to come and visit you guys. And then, of course, we both kind of had the idea the same night, Nate, where we're like, we should do a get together.
Yeah.
And then you guys took it and friggin' ran with it, because if it were up for me, we'd have had saltines and bottled water.
Yeah.
And I show up and Nate's like, yep, lunch is going to be good. It's going to take me about 12 hours. I need to get up at 2 a.m. to start it. And not quite, but they were the best pork belly bites. I've never had them before, but I need to have them again. They were good.
Yeah.
And it was, we had tables and a canopy, and people just kept coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nicole always says this, that free events are never well attended, or because, and traditionally I guess they aren't, but because I kind of expected maybe half the people in the group to show up, and this is no slam on anybody, it's just life happens.
Yeah.
And when you haven't spent a whole bunch of money on tickets, it's like, okay, well, yeah, I just, I can't, or the dog's sick, or my kids are tired, or whatever, it just happens. And there wasn't one, right? One, maybe, I don't know.
Maybe one or two didn't show up.
But I mean,
I don't know. I think everybody that had said that.
I think everybody that, because I told Becky before I left, it looked like we could hit 30 people here, which blew me out of the water.
Yeah.
But I told her, I said, if we get half that, would be awesome.
Yeah.
And
it had to be. Well, we had more because Justin and his family showed up.
Yeah, and they weren't in the
and they're not on
chat,
any social media.
But I think that's the thing is, we've made the connections with these people before this event.
Yes.
We've met Justin. We met Yozik. We went down and met Angie, and then they all came back again, which is like awesome.
Absolutely.
And it's just like they like us,
Yeah, they do. Absolutely. It was cool to meet all these people that you guys knew. Like it was like a connection thing, down the road, and some of the stories about how you guys have met people is pretty neat too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's always the fun thing talking with Mike how we ended up meeting. I work on the guy's vehicles and for his employer, and we'd never do that until he showed up.
And he found you on MeWe.
And he found me on MeWe.
Yeah.
I mean, the TSP group.
The least used social media platform in the world.
Of course. Yeah, for that 5 minutes we were actually on there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we've run with it. I mean, we've known him, 2 years?
Yeah, it's been a while.
So.
And what a solid dude. Wow. I told him he's got a voice for podcasting. As soon as he recorded with us last night, and he was just like that. Like he turned it on, and it was a great. He's a good storyteller,
Absolutely.
But a genuine dude who's self-made and freedom-loving brother. So I like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I'm good.
I mean, we're antisocial introverts, so it's like, but we still want that community, and I think, it's worked. We've somehow made it come
we were
together.
having that exact conversation this morning before you got off.
Yeah, we were. I was just going to say. So, okay, I have this philosophy that most content creators, even most social personalities, have about a 25% introvert in them. Some are more, some are less, but I think just about everybody has that bent in them. And before every single big event, and I live to go to events. I love seeing people in person. But there is 25% of me, there's that little red devil on my shoulder that says, oh, man, I just, you're stressed out about it. But, you're already thinking about the ending before it starts, because you're like, I gotta be on, you gotta, and there's going to be people, and, and it just, your social anxiety goes through the roof a little bit, even if, I'm sure there are some people out there that don't suffer from that at all, but there's 25% of that in me that even driving here, I was like, oh man, I was excited. I couldn't wait to see it. Couldn't wait to see everybody, but there's still that little devil on your shoulder, like, you need to interact. You need to
all
talk.
the unknown conversations.
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing is we can do the podcast fine because we know each other. Together, and it's we bounce off, but it's that other conversation where it's like someone's going to say something and my brain's still going to be processing what they said, and now I have to say something back, and everybody's waiting, and it's dead air, and that's when I start to like
You do good though.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with dead air
Yeah.
per se. I would rather a person take a pause
And think,
than, say it just because at least you're thinking.
Yeah.
And
Right.
Did you have that day, the day before, were you getting pretty nervous before things started, or?
before the event.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, why are we doing this? Why did we put it so big? And it wasn't even that big, compared to a lot of the events going on. But it's like, oh God.
And you didn't even put it on all the platforms,
No,
did you?
No.
I didn't, because it was like, this is enough.
Well, I mean, we put it on all platforms, but
I had more ideas where it's like, if we had like 2 people coming,
Yeah.
okay, I'll go spread out. But I also didn't want a bunch of people that we've never even, talked to before, that were just coming just because there's free food
Right.
or something.
Right.
I don't know.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of time and planning and ultimately income that goes into throwing stuff like this. And we didn't need 100 people here on
That
what
we'll
we
never
were
talk to
planning.
again.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But everybody, I think, that showed up here, we've talked to at one point or another in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And they've come and actually showed up and, actually made a go of it.
Yeah.
So,
So what would you say percentage-wise? Was this a success?
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
It makes me think I would do it again. So yeah, I think it.
Yeah, I mean, Tim and I were actually talking about next year doing it again and maybe putting a little bit of investment
Yeah.
and getting tables that don't weigh 100 pounds.
Yeah.
And,
Well, that's you use what you have until
get it.
you figure out that you're actually gonna.
Yeah, and
keep
then
going.
actually replace the canopy on it, so if it does rain, because we've used that canopy for more than just this.
Yeah.
So,
Did I hear you guys talk about maybe making a composting toilet or something?
Mm-hmm.
yes.
We've talked about with the neighbor for a few years
Yeah.
now.
So every time we rent the porta potty, it's what, $300?
It's at least, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we could build one of those next time, if we
Yeah.
wanted to, as part
Yeah.
of the project. Build it, get here a couple hours early, build an outhouse or a composting toilet, and for less money probably, or the same amount of money as what one rental would be.
Yeah, because he wants to just get like a porta potty that
Oh,
you could
okay.
have, because he can pump it, because he's got all the equipment, and then just kind of make it look
Yeah.
nicer, build up around it, and make it look like a cute little,
'Cause
outhouse.
You could use one of them for these events probably all summer.
We would use it.
Yeah.
I think we would probably have more events because our house is old, our plumbing is sketchy, and so I don't want to spend $300 to have 5 people come over,
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, it's really the way our house works is we either pay $300 for the porta potty or we pay $300 to the plumber to have him come fix the plumbing.
Right.
Yeah.
When a ton
It
of people
backs
start
up, yeah.
using it.
Yeah.
So we're talking about plumbing. So what worked for this event? What didn't work? And what do you change for the next one?
I think I would have. I think there was nothing that didn't work.
No, I think you and I did all the stuff that we wanted to do. We were able to talk to everybody.
Yeah. The food, I planned it out. The breakfast sandwiches were for the busy day where it's like eat and go. Mm-hmm. And then the kind of more involved breakfast was this, Sunday morning.
Right.
Dinner was pretty. You could converse
Yeah, I
and
could walk away
socialize
from
and
it.
and it was still
walk
cooking.
back every 15, 20 minutes and check it. So I could have a conversation and not worry about it. Mm-hmm. It would have been nice if it was maybe a little bit closer so I could...
That's the other thing is our house is not that far from the pond, but when you're walking it 50 times carrying bowls
Yeah.
of food,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I forgot that one thing now I have to go back and get.
The one thing I will do different next year, if we have it this time of year, is I will pick up all the acorns that are out there. My feet are killing me.
Well, yeah, you have better shoes. Yeah, you
Yeah.
walk around in flip-flops.
Flip flops can be tough on the back.
Yeah.
We're not getting any younger.
Right, but it's like I'm in and out of the house, I'm walking back and forth.
I think probably next time I would have the Blackstone,
Yeah.
so I could just cook down there
Yeah. That would make
and
sense.
not be, toting it back and forth.
have the smoker and have the Blackstone down there, actually next to the pond.
Yeah.
So we just bring all the food down and just cook
It's just
it.
all there, yeah.
That makes sense.
And I thought about that, but I mean, we haven't used it in a while, so.
Yeah, we do need to reseason it, so we'll get there.
Smoker worked good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's...
The tables, you want to improve the tables.
Yes, I would like to get new tables. Maybe 4, I think, would work. And we need to get a new one anyway when we do the hog.
Yeah.
I think we need to make that purchase. So when we do our hog, we do it on a short table that's regular dinner table height. We want counter height.
Yeah.
So we need to go find a table that's counter height. I think I found a couple on Amazon, and that could be the barter table.
Yeah.
So that's up a little bit higher. It's got stuff on it. You can stand there and look at it.
I do think that was a really good idea. I think a lot of people sold and traded and got their business out there. And
Absolutely.
We used to clean chickens at out east. We would put our tables up on 5-gallon buckets.
Okay.
And it worked. Never ever once had one fall over. You just put them. You'd put 5-gallon buckets under each leg, and it got them up to the height we needed because I'm a tall dude and I don't like. So
well, you drove down the lane. You saw that stainless steel.
Yeah, the outdoor
sink.
kitchen
Yeah,
sink
the
or
outdoor
whatever.
kitchen.
Yep.
We're going to bring that up here, closer to the house.
Yep.
And that's going to be our processing table when we're doing rabbits and chickens.
Okay.
So like when we're splitting them up, we're going to bring that up here. It's going to probably go either behind the rabbits or next to the garage.
Okay.
And it's got a water heater on it. It's got hot and cold both sides, and it's the plumber's table. He wired it all up, and it's like 10 feet long, 12 feet long.
Well, that'll work.
Yeah,
How many chickens do you do at once?
dozen.
Okay.
at least,
So-
yeah. And then rabbits,
It
varies.
varies. Yeah, you go anywhere from 5 to 20 when we process.
So camping up on top of the hill was your idea this time, or because you said people camped lower last time? Did they get wet?
All right. So anybody who's ever been here, and this actually happened for field day. So anybody that was here for field day last year in 2022 knew that we got like 3 inches of rain in a matter of an hour?
Oh wow.
And it all runs. It starts up here by our house in the front yard. It runs between us and the neighbor. So over here where we have the vehicle parked,
Yep.
down to his concrete by his garage, and then down the lane to the end of the lane. And as soon as you get off that gravel, it all dumps down into the low spot right there. And then whatever fills the pond from there. That's where we set the tent up.
Oh no.
we were
Yeah.
stomping around in puddles.
So we were walking like 2 inches of water for the better part of 4 hours after it rained. So we moved everything up towards the front, closer up towards the house. And then I tell everybody, be careful. If we get rained and you're down in that spot, you're going to get soaked. And that's why I set my antenna up down there.
Oh.
So it's less people are willing to go down in that area. So we tell everybody camp up on the hill or on the other side of the lake, and you're pretty much set.
I think it's more private up there.
Yeah.
At least you have somewhere to go if you don't.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. It almost gives you your own little space. So if you needed to go back and I don't know,
Just
change your clothes or just chill for a few
out,
minutes, there you weren't right beside everybody. You know what I mean? And also, what was cool was that I went to bed about 10 o'clock last night. Some of the younger fellers stayed up quite a bit later than me, so I wasn't around where everybody wanted to keep being jovial. It was great. It was nice. And
Yeah.
Yeah. I made it till about 11, and I called it. I think you guys were, 11:30, 12?
About that.
So... And
Well, did you hear us talking at all when we were by the tarp?
No.
Okay.
But I had a little fan. I have a white noise machine. I travel with this little tiny white noise machine that's cordless, and it worked great until it wouldn't take a charge. So I don't know what's wrong with it now, but that just helps because anytime you're in dead silence. But no, I wouldn't even if I didn't, it wasn't enough for me to ever be bothered with.
Now, here's a question. You had 25 attendees for this event. How many stayed with tents, and then what kind of numbers? So you had 25 attend. How many could you ideally fit on the property for a weekend thing with tents?
And parking.
And parking. Oh, I mean, we'd have to change things up and move people to camp down the lane and.
Oh yeah,
And then park in that spot. So it really depends. I mean, it's the parking. I think you're probably limited to 20 vehicles.
I bet you could get 100 people here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the catch is we would have talked to the village about the parking lot down at the end of our street.
Oh, okay.
So that there's this big parking lot down by the railroad tracks. We'd have to talk to them, see if we have people parked there.
We do have parking in our front yard. I mean, the
Yes.
whole rest of the neighborhood. Yes,
Yeah.
the neighborhood always has cars in their front yards because they have parties, and we're always like, nobody parks in our front yard. We had people park in our front yard yesterday, so we...
Like on the grass?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Is that an Illinois thing?
I don't know.
Okay.
I've never seen it before we moved here. I don't know.
I don't even know who it was. Your parents pulled in the driveway.
It was Annette.
Oh, okay.
Parked in the front yard.
It's a net. I'm not worried about it.
Somebody did that in Alberta. They would have kittens. People are so protective of their front lawn. That's cool.
No, it's...
You could, I mean, the laneway is wide enough for 2 cars to pass, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you had them parking on the side of the laneway going down, turning around, and then parking nose facing out, you can get a lot of cars down there.
Yeah, but I think it's our neighbors.
I know.
And that's the thing.
I forget. Yeah.
I mean, if it was ours,
you could do a lot.
You could do a lot more, but it's like you want to keep that buffer.
But events don't always have to be big to be successful. This was friggin' incredible. This was very successful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this was a perfect size.
Yeah, and I don't know that I would want to get it to be too big to where it's like... Because I tried to plan the food so that I wasn't gone like the whole time. And I could just, prepare and then I was done. But, I can see at Nicole's how she has cooks.
Yeah.
Because it's like, otherwise... where's the host?
Nicole?
Yeah, it's like, cooking again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if we got bigger and we had more people, then yes, I would consider that.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to get that big.
Right.
Well, that's why Nicole had me MC at LFTN this year, because every time she can get rid of one obligation or responsibility, it frees her up to talk to more people, because that's why I come to these events, is to meet as many people as I can. And I hope I spend every minute talking, because it's all you can do is, everybody who comes that wants to chat with you, you owe them a conversation. And but I love to hear people's stories. I try whenever people talk to listen about them, because I don't care about me. I'd rather hear everything everybody else is doing that's awesome.
Right. And we had no schedule either.
No, which is great.
So,
we talked. I think we talked about, should we have, talks? And it's like, no, let's just let everybody come in.
This was my type of event, because I don't go to presentations.
And I thought about that. It's like, I remember it. You didn't go and see the talks. You wanted to chit chat. So it's like, that's
if
fine.
it were 3 days, or not that you would do, but when you go to a 3-day event, you need things for people who want to go to things.
Yeah.
But for me, this is about connections, and it's a hell of a lot harder to connect when you're sitting in rows of chairs listening to one person talk, whereas the connection happens sipping on a bottle of apple pine moonshine, or some local bourbon that Nate was nice enough to introduce me to, or eating pork belly bites and hearing stories about how a really cool dude immigrated here at 12 years old from a war-torn country, or hearing about how a lady built a successful flipping business where she buys things and turns them into more money, or a custom computer software hardware. Everybody here, I haven't even left yet, but I have so many stories of what people do, and that's what gives me the energy. That's why I want to hear it. I don't know. That's like what recharges your batteries, even though I joke about the social anxiety. The other side of it is you come out of it every time jazzed up.
Yeah, I've never regretted any of the events that we've done here or that I've gone to. It's just at the time, it's like,
It's always a lot ahead of time.
Yeah, and it's always a lot of running around and trying to get things done, and then once you're done for the day, it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah,
now it's
done.
just...
Now we can sit down and drink some bourbon and watch things go up in flames and not worry about it.
The kitchen will be cleaned tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's always a bit of cleanup. There wasn't much.
No, I got up this morning and
Yeah.
did a lot of it before we started getting the real bad rain. Just so it was less of us to do and we could actually get underneath that tent.
But everything was, what I liked about what you did was everything was contained right in that area of the tent too.
Yeah.
So things didn't spill out everywhere. You know, we had some chairs by the fire and everything, but it was, you kind of kept everything harangued into one area and made it easier for cleaning up. And,
Yep. I mean, there's still a couple things I gotta go down there and get cones. And
Well, we'll walk
cases of
around and make
water.
sure everything's, cleaned up we don't leave it for the neighbor.
Yep. So that's always usually the day after. I think it's gonna stop raining here in about 2 hours. So then we'll do our walk around.
it's definitely getting brighter out there.
Yeah.
Collectively, everybody here has spent the entire weekend looking at the weather app or looking at the horizon, wondering, okay, is it gonna hold off?
Yeah.
Which is foolish because you got to take what it comes.
Yeah.
It's not like you can. It's not like you can change it by knowing about it, right?
Right.
So,
Exactly. We know it's gonna rain, and it's just a matter of, is it going to be a full blown storm or is it going to be a nice drizzle for 2 hours like it's been doing this morning? So, but yeah, I think this event worked out perfect.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
And it's been kind of nice because we've done much smaller ones. We've done rabbits, we've done chickens, and I don't know what else. I think that was it. To
Well,
kind
we
of
do
work
the
up
ham
to.
radio one.
Yeah, the ham. That's true. That kind of helped us practice a little bit.
Yeah. So we've done the 2 ham radio ones. We've done 1 chicken processing workshop. We've done a rabbit processing workshop. And now we have the big workshop meetup. And this is by far the most people we've had here.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, we had a celebrity here, so
yeah.
You're welcome.
it was a pleasure to meet Don for the second time. I love seeing him. So.
But yeah, it's the neighbor's property, and I really wish it was our property, but it really works out perfect for what we do on it sometimes.
And it's nice that he came out last night, and
And he didn't just he was part of the crew.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I gotta say, I think now some people, the word neighbor just makes them nervous. And you guys have done what's a perfect example of community and building a real relationship with a neighbor where you guys talk openly and real and you help each other out and you let each other use things. And that's not very common in today's world, and it's really refreshing to see. And it when you see it, you're almost like, I forgot that could be a thing.
Yeah.
Because I just don't know my neighbors very well, and I haven't tried nearly as hard as I should. I've been honest about that, but I know them, and I will help them if they need help. But it's you guys have something special here.
And this wasn't even pushed. It just kind of evolved over time.
Yeah.
I mean, dude come out and he sat and drank with us all night. Brought a big quart of apple pie moonshine and was asking about the podcast and but a legit cool dude. That was it was. But it was nice that you guys have built that, and beyond that, this community you guys are building is really cool, man. I'm blown away by the people that you've made connections with in the surrounding area, and that to me was probably my favorite part, was seeing how much you guys have grown and seeing all the community you've built and meeting all these people. I mean, I say it, but I love meeting the people in person. That's what gets me excited. That's why I'm on a 36-day road trip.
Right.
Is to meet so many people that I can't remember their names, which really only takes about 3. So.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're doing our best to show people you can talk shit about Illinois, but don't talk shit about all of Illinois. Chicago. We are not Chicago. This is farm country. You're nice to your neighbors. You try and meet everybody you want to meet. You do things together. You try and build community. And you try and help people out. And there are people... We had people come from 2 hours down south, 2 hours up north, 6 hours up north, I think is where Letty Lou came from.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then we had Tim. Don, you're an hour and 45 minutes from us.
Yep.
And then we had Yozik and his fiance, and they're 6.5.
That's
over
a
in
drive.
Ohio. And they came in Friday night.
It shows this area's still considered Midwest, right? Yeah. It shows that there is a hunger for community and events in the Midwest.
Yeah.
100%. Because you look at right now what is served, and it's the South, the middle South and the Eastern South. I'm sure I got my terms completely right there, but there's tons of events and opportunity in that area. You got Texas, Tennessee, North Carolina, Kentucky. Now we have Kansas, which is cool. That's Midwest, right?
Yep.
Ish, yeah. So it's coming, but I mean, if there's a need, things will spring up. But there's like Letty's been talking about that for years too. There's this great big circle that encompasses the Canadian prairies too, that there just isn't anything like that. Yeah. And there's a hunger for it, because when you get together with real people, Dawn included, but when you get together with real people, you leave recharged. But because I don't know, I'm going to say this, but in the real world, now you get to build your life the way you want to live it, but you meet so many quote unquote outsiders that don't recharge your battery when you meet them, that don't build you up, that say, must be nice, or, they're not like your dude last night, the first thing out of his mouth when I told my story was good for you. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't think he realizes how good of a dude he is, like that, you just don't meet good for you people every day. And when you get together with a whole bunch of good for you people, there's power, man, I'm telling you.
And it was kind of funny because you're telling the story, and as soon as you finish, I go, must be nice.
I heard that. I knew it was coming. I knew somebody would say that.
And the look on his face, because I saw it, was like, oh, you asshole.
That was pretty funny.
So, yeah, he's a level-headed dude, and he's got he's one of the nicest guys to know. And we've talked about him in the past. We should do something with him, like get him on here.
Yeah.
I bet he'd do it.
Yeah, I don't know. We have to get him on the right day.
Yeah. So.
A lot of people are more into doing interviews if you're not videoing as well.
Yeah.
That when you introduce the video aspect, people get nervous, and that's okay.
Yeah, that was me yesterday when you guys were doing the round table. I saw the phone out. It was like, ooh.
Yeah. That was a great interview. So.
That was fun. To me, there's two. Every event I go to, I have two recordings I want to do: a round table during the event and some sort of post-event episode. Because to me, that is it's kind of a living, breathing journal of what it was, and it's easy to forget real quick. And so you can go back if you want to, and even just sometimes I'll go back and watch 5 minutes of one of the lives, or not lives, but the recorded roundtables at events, and I'm like, that's pretty cool, Yeah, and I have to rewatch. I watch my presentations that I do, because that's part of my prep work for the next presentation, and you'll hear inside jokes from certain events, and you're like, oh yeah, and that it just gives you that little boost you need to keep going.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely need to come up with something that is just like this community mascot to have at these events. We got to figure that out and see what that is.
I don't know.
Because there's a lot of communities that have that.
It happens. It happens. Delinquents happened because like it. So I know delinquents was one day. Brian Alexovich says, "Hey, how are all the delinquents in here doing?" And I'm like, "Yep, there it is." And the delinquent gully that came because we were there walking through the property, and Carrie's like, "Man, what a nice gully you have here." It's like, there you go, And so there's it happens, right? You'll find it, and it'll happen, and as soon as it does, like, there it is. You just keep interacting, and eventually every community has their own language and their own symbols or their own tokens or totems or whatever you want to call it.
Absolutely. I'm tired from this event, but it's still
a good tired.
I'm at a nice high where it's the past couple days have been amazing. Just trying to get things ready and having you come in Friday night, sitting here with pizza, and then going down and polishing off a bottle of booze with 4 of us sitting around the picnic table, to getting up in the morning, to starting the smoker and going until 4 o'clock. I think we finally ate. So I got up at 6. We had dinner at 4, and then the bonfire and another bottle being passed around and moonshine and getting up this morning over breakfast, coffee, sitting out in the rain, chit chatting. It's just you can't get any better than this.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all. I'd forgot. There've been so many things happened in 48 hours. Not even 40. I haven't even been here 48 hours, right? Yeah. I'd forgotten about the pizza. So Erin was like, yeah, do you want any pizza? I'm like, yes, Chicago pizza, please. And so Nate brings home a deep dish and a thin crust, right? Yeah. Oh, so good. Thank you. But it's funny how memories are tied to food. But deep dish pizza, pork bites, apple pie moonshine.
Rabbit.
Oh, yeah, man. Oh, and can't forget breakfast burritos.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, they were good. And the homemade, Erin made homemade English muffins and turned them into... I've been razzing her about English muffins. Because everything was homemade. And I'm like, you made the English muffin? No, I didn't. They were from the store. But the English muffin sandwiches were so good. Everything was good.
And that's a mental thing, too, where I was thinking, like, I bought these English muffins, and it's like, oh, my God, who is going to, say that it was terrible because I didn't make them myself. And it's like, that's the stuff I think about where it's like, oh God, I put the relish in a jar and someone's like, wow, this is really good relish that you made. I was like, no. And I don't know, it's just the stuff you think about where it's like, shit, I didn't make most of this stuff.
We are our own worst critic.
Mm-hmm.
And I think most of what we call, I don't even like the word peer pressure, but Amy talks about that a lot in the homestead community, is self-imposed too. Because we all talk about things, in the prepper community it's the same thing. We talk about all these things that would be nice to have or your goals. And at some point, some of us internalize everybody else's goals and think that should be my goal as well. And who cares if it's...
And really, it wouldn't have made the event any better to have homemade tortillas, but in my head it
might have made it worse on you, though.
Right, exactly. I would have hated it because it's like, shoot, that was horrible. I just spent all that time when I could have been doing anything else. Really.
Yeah, and people are going to eat what they want to eat, and we're going to make the stuff that we know is good to showcase some of the stuff that we have. So I mean the pork that we had yesterday, the pork belly was from the first or second hog that we ever processed. And
that's cool.
We pulled that out of the freezer and thawed it and threw it on the smoker with some seasoning and some barbecue sauce, and it came out amazing. I mean, it's not hard to mess up, or it's not, it's not hard to mess up pork belly.
Yeah.
It's bacon. So, and it's like little fat chunks of bacon bites.
I'm making some of them. I'm buying me a smoker. You got me hooked on a smoker now. I got to try it.
And I am a big proponent of a bullet charcoal smoker, like the stand-up smokers.
Yeah.
I don't like the side ones. It's too much work for me.
Okay.
So I'm a big fan of charcoal, and it's got to be the stand-up as big as you can get. So.
And those are some of the least expensive ones, aren't they?
Yeah, I think that thing was like $200.
Okay.
And we've probably run, 60 pounds of bacon through that thing?
Yeah, we make all the bacon.
Yeah, the bacon gets made on there. We've done rabbits on there. We've done fish on there. Bunch of different stuff. I mean, it's totally worth it.
I was surprised at how far those two bellies went. That's all or two sides of one belly.
That was one belly. One side.
Oh, that cut in half.
Yeah.
Wow. Because, I mean... When I seen it on the smoker, I was like, it looks like a lot, but there's a lot of people here.
Yeah.
And then when you put it in the pans, I was like, it looks like a lot, but there's a lot of people here. And we barely ate one pan, I think. Or maybe,
it was like a half a pan left.
Yeah. It was great. There was a lot. It was so good. And it's filling, too, because there's a lot of fat on it. And then you've got a lot of the barbecue sauce as well. So and smoke. And I find things with a strong smoke, you can't eat quite as much of that as if it didn't, But that's just... good pungent flavors and pungent in a good sense.
Yeah, and I do heavy smokes when I do smokes because that's what I like, but it's not like, oh my God, that tastes like shit.
No, it was great.
So, and there's a lot of smoked stuff that tastes like shit, I think.
I didn't really used to like smoked food.
I had a smoked old fashioned at a bar a couple of weeks ago in the city. You ever had
smoked?
Yeah, it was really good. There's something about smoke that just they put it in your cup, and then they put a smoker on it, put a dome over it.
Oh,
and
I had a coffee like that once.
Oh man, I've had 2 now, and it's something special. It's just I wouldn't do it all the time, but you really enjoy it. I couldn't sit down and drink 12 of them.
No,
but I could have eaten 12 pork bellies though.
Yeah. That is like one of my favorite things to make. It's nice and easy. The bacon's fun too.
The bacon takes a lot of time.
Yeah, because the bacon we go 6 in the morning to 10 at night.
But you're the whole week before you have to season it.
Yeah, you gotta. We put it in a vacuum sealed bag with all the salt and the brown sugar and all this other stuff before we even smoke it. It sits there for a week. And you just got to keep flipping it every couple days, and then it's on the smoker for 16 hours.
It's worth it though.
Yeah,
but it's a lot of work.
Absolutely.
Should we share a favorite memory or a favorite way? I mean, I've got something, so to give you guys time to, because everybody's got that deer in the headlights look. And they're like,
go ahead.
Not favorite, but I mean, just something that stuck out to you. But I had absolutely no idea that Nate and Erin were going to surprise me with the most beautiful. What do you call a door hanger sign that Erin made, and it says Delinquent Gully or Delinquent's Gully, right? And then and then they put the logo on there, and then you guys signed it, and it's probably the closest I've ever come to crying at an event because it really meant a lot to me, and that was a surprise. Do you? Oh my God!
Were you videoing it?
I had no. All right, so there is no video, guys. He's lying, but. I love seeing everybody, but that was a surprise. My friends, I love you. I thank you, and thanks for inviting me into your home. And I can't even imagine how much time and energy you guys put into this, but it was friggin' incredible. So, and I'm glad that we finally got to spend some time, just us and chill.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm glad. I wish Becky could have been here. She'll be here to the next one, but that sign meant more than you'll ever know. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah,
we try and do our best to make our home everybody else's home when they show up, and we try and have as much hospitality as we possibly can.
And you do good.
So that is definitely our thing. I would think my favorite was sitting around hearing everybody's goals. And I think the best one that I heard was Angie.
Yeah.
Okay. So Angie, you have to meet Angie. Angie is the nicest lady in the world. And she's very, very physically fit. She is shorter side.
She's tiny.
Let's
not mince words. She is tiny.
She is tiny. Her goal is to deadlift next year 270 pounds.
Yep.
And that is over double her weight.
I'm sure I could not. I mean, maybe, I don't know. If I did, I'd be at the chiropractor for 6 weeks afterwards. Yeah.
Absolutely. And just hearing that and hearing what she's at currently, it's like, that is awesome for you. You totally do not look like that type of person that could do that, but awesome. And congratulations, and keep going at it.
My favorite was probably last night when we were just sitting under the tent and the kids were chill and we got to sit out there and drink and talk, and it was over. Like that, like all the real hard work was done and it was success, and then we just kind of got to sit there and enjoy it.
Absolutely.
I like that a lot. And the kids they're so good. They're good. You guys got great kids.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They're actually up in here in the same room as we're recording this.
Yeah.
And they're on their iPads with the headphones, just chilling over in the corner because they are tired.
My 13-year-olds wouldn't be that quiet.
Yeah. I can look at them and tell they are definitely tired and ready to be on the couch and relax.
Aren't we all?
So,
my favorite part of this was I work Monday through Friday, like long hours, and I forget it's okay to just kick back and relax with good people. Get in here late, making a plate of food, and just having conversations with people. It's It's the simple and little things that you forget about in your daily grind. That was mine.
Good.
I was glad you came.
Yeah. There were a lot of people throughout the day going, is Don coming? Where's Don? Somebody needs to call Don.
About three times Nate and I had that conversation because I'd have been very sad if I hadn't been graced with your presence, even for the briefest of moments.
I'll send you the invoice.
Appreciate it.
Checks in the mail. So yeah, I would say it was a very, very good success, and I am really looking forward to doing it again next year. If you are willing to come through Illinois again next year, I know it's not the greatest area in the world.
It's pretty.
You guys are. It is beautiful here. Yeah. It has nothing to do with anything other than I've just gotten so spoiled with driving on the South Dakota, North Dakota. Yeah, I mean that is.
Well, you'll have to tell me how 39 is going south.
I will.
See how you like it compared to the other ones.
Sure.
Because once you get down towards the bottom of the state, you'll start seeing that.
But you're going to
Nashville,
Louisville.
I haven't decided. I haven't even quite decided yet. Okay. I'm going to drive until I get to the first gas station, and then I'll see how tired I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, we'll figure it out. I'm not usually that chill about where I'm going, but
there is a Love's on the way down that has pretty decent prices around here. So I don't know what your gas situation is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I always fill up before I get to the event because then I don't have to look when I'm leaving. So
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I think it was nice enough that I would do it again.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't like, oh god, that was horrible.
I would
work.
love to come back and do it again with you guys. It was a lot of fun. Absolutely.
Yeah, we will definitely look into that and see what dates will work next year, and maybe we'll make it a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and actually plan a vacation around it.
That would probably help Erin a lot, wouldn't it?
That's all right. I mean, the porta potty showed up at 5:45 Friday morning, so you were up anyway.
Jesus. As I'm letting the chickens out.
Wow.
Yeah.
5:45 Friday morning, as I'm letting the chickens out, the guy with the porta potty is sitting out front going, where do I drop this? And I'm not even awake yet.
Oh, man.
My alarm was set for 6 because I told them anytime after 6, I'll be out. And then got up and you're like, it's here.
Yeah.
That dude's an early riser.
Yeah, I was like,
how many potties did he have on the truck?
It's too dark.
Oh, right.
I mean, it's always early because I think they come way out here first and then go everywhere else. Yeah. But it was like, holy cow.
Yeah. So I walk out. We have a motion light on the back of the house. I go let the chickens out, and I'm walking back towards the house to grab my wallet, keys, and all that stuff. And I see a guy with a headlamp in the driveway, like, how you doing? Where do you want the porta potty? I'm like, give me a second. Let me grab something, and I'll show you where it goes. So we walked all the way back down to the pond, like, drop it right here by this tree with the door facing this way, and we're good.
And he did it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how he got out. That's not my problem.
No, but he did good. Yeah.
So, I think this would be pretty much a good spot to stop it.
Yeah, porta potties.
Yeah, porta potties. It's a slightly less shitty situation.
Shitter was full.
Yeah. Not quite.
No.
Very.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll catch you guys next week. And Tim, thank you for coming.
Thanks
for having me.
Great to see you again.
Always love seeing you guys. Oh, God. Long weekend.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And we'll see you guys next time.
All right. See you on the homestead where something is always growing, eating, or cooking.